much more. Ooh.
Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another I thought I was going to do it right, but no.
I didn't.
Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9, Episode 8. Oh. And as per usual, I am joined by my illegitimate drag daughter, Wilhelmina Boxfarts. How are you, Wilhelmina?
I'm super Wilma. How are you?
I am extra delicious. It was a fun episode this week.
It was a fun episode this week.
Before we get started, I need to send a shout out to this week's Tipperdoo, Martha Anastasia. I love you, girl. And I also want to send out a birthday hey to John Pinniger. I love you, John. Happy birthday. Don't hurt nobody.
John.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
yeah.
On to the important things.
Do you want to redo the intro?
Was it awful? Well, this episode wasted no time picking up where it last left off with the dilemma of the snippers. Sweet Marie and the ships at sea. Although I'm going to give Angeria kudos for breaking the cycle of back and forth that she was playing with Roxy. But why Gottmik? Do they not see Plastique sitting over there with her badges?
No, because
are they blinded by her beauty?
They've fallen for Plastique's new badge math. Fools!
Idiots. They're still trying to make a big old mountain out of a little molehill that really doesn't affect too much beyond which charity takes it all home.
You barely stubbed a toe on that molehill. Climb every molehill. No? We can't afford the rights.
Wow. I don't know. I think they give those rights away.
Well, I don't think anyone would actually recognize what I'm singing anyways.
Oh, was that singing?
What? So next day in the workroom, things got off to a bang with Gottmik passive-aggressively attacking the set, smashing a light bulb.
Yeah, if that had been an eye, she would have blinded it.
You'd take your eye out.
Right there.
And then Ru came in to...
Oh, well, I just want to point out, in the entrance,
yes,
overshadowed by the anger and chaos that was Gottmik, Chanel was juggling. Do you remember Chanel used to juggle?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
She used to juggle. On season 1, she came down the runway more than once juggling, and it was always so exciting. She's really good at it.
Now I know why I blocked it out. I've never, unless the things are on fire, have found juggling exciting.
Oh. No, neither have I, but to see a drag queen do it in full gitch, that's different.
I mean, nails, I guess, might be, depending on what you're juggling.
She had the nails. She was juggling bowling pins. You know, the classics never die.
Who hasn't? Who hasn't?
So everyone got excited when Ru arrived with this week's mini challenge, and then we heard what the mini challenge was. This was stupid.
It was kind of...
So they weren't photobombing anyone in particular, just the country in particular, like the country at large.
Photobombing
the Swiss Alps.
Tourist
the Swiss Alps. All of them.
You know what? The Swiss Alps have had it too good for too long.
It's so true. They've never actually had a photobomb situation. No.
No, just lots
of bombs. It's about time. Happenstance. What goes around the Alps comes around the... I don't really...
Take that, Alps. Yeah. It was just a chance to make the girls look stupid, which...
And even then, the stupidest photo didn't win.
No.
Nina, who photobombed Japan by bending over in front of a sumo wrestler or fister, he already was ready, you know.
Sumo fister?
A sumo fister. It's huge right now in Japan.
I had no idea.
Well, I mean, it's not that huge, but the people doing it are.
Fair enough.
Huge. And then it was Maxi Challenge time. What did you think of this Maxi Challenge?
It's a fun Maxi Challenge. I mean, part of me felt like, okay, this is just Ru needs to make some money, so we're going to play some more of her songs.
Some more of her songs. I like how they didn't call them hits.
Songs.
It's
good. It's important to temper everyone's expectations.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, I have been watching RuPaul's Drag Race all 16 years, and I didn't recognize a few of these songs.
Did you?
I don't know when she even sneaked them out.
What?
Yeah.
What?
There were a couple. I'm like, what?
Sure, they've been featured in previous.
I'm sure they have, but I don't really pay attention.
Barely awake when we watch it. To pinch you.
No.
So hard.
Once that Golden Girls episode is done, so am I.
So the challenge was pairing one of Ruth's songs with a basket of fabric to make an outfit to go along with the song.
Yeah,
Super fun.
I mean, not a big stretch. I mean, the fabric was chosen, like the color choices, like all you had to do was take what you were given and make something that went with the song. Of course, if you hadn't heard the song, well, what the hell were you going to make?
Yeah, but if you haven't heard the song, why are you on the show?
Most of these queens didn't let that bother them.
No.
They went full tilt boogie.
Yeah, full tilt boogie jumped right on in.
I have to say, I was surprised at Ru picking Chanel to go first. I don't think it was a bad choice, but I thought for sure it would be Nina because she won the mini challenge. But no, money for charity was all she got.
And that's it.
And Chanel got to go first. She picked Hey Sis, It's Christmas. Natch.
Natch.
She's the Christmas queen.
Very on brand. Made a lot of sense.
And everything that was involved with that song was what you'd expect. Silver, gold, tinsel, green, red. It was all there. And then she got to pick the next person to go. And being a very smart girl. Now, I have to say, this surprised me. Chanel's not a big sewer. I would assume that A, she is, and B, because of being a Christmas queen, that she would make a lot of stuff. But
no, Christmas skirt goes under the tree. It doesn't go around your waist.
So she picked Angie to go next because she knew everyone would be all over Roxy for Roxy sewing, but she knew Angeria sewed. So
Angie picked Cake and Candy.
Of course she did. Yum, who wouldn't?
And then picked Gombeck to go next, who picked New Friend Silver, Old Friends Gold.
Which was a bit of a fly in the ointment for Plastique, because that's what she wanted. Regardless of how stupid this mini challenge was, I'll tell you one thing. This image right here is going to haunt me for the rest of my days. I don't think it was a big surprise that Gottmik picked her BFF Angie to go next. What I was excited to see was that Angie picked Kitty Girl.
Which is also very on brand.
It's a cute song. The Animal Prince went with her charity, the ASPCA.
Hey, Kitty Girl.
And she's been wearing Animal Prince. Actually, once she mentioned it, I realized she's been wearing Animal Prince all season. So that was a great look for her to grab, for sure.
Vanjie picked Roxy to go next, who grabbed Lady Cowgirl. Lady Cowgirl?
By the lasso. Yes, she did. Wahoo. The reason she picked that is because it wasn't the norm for her. She wanted to challenge herself.
Trying to think outside the box.
I just think the ones she wanted were already picked, and what the heck did she have left to live for?
I just think she wanted to wear chaps and show off her juiciness. Juicy.
Squish. Roxy picked Plastique to go next, and even though her first choice was already gone, she seemed very happy to pick Star Baby. Lots of silvers, lots of blues, still classic colors, so I think that was a good choice for her.
She bounced back.
And then Plastique's choice was between Nina and Georges. She picked Georges. Georges grabbed I Bring the Beat. I have to point this out. Not only was Nina not picked, I mean, she was last, but no one picked her. It just was like left over. And she got Cha Cha Bitch, which is a great song. There's nothing wrong with that song. I like the colors of the fabrics that were involved with it. But it just seemed as it was getting closer and closer to her being the obvious last choice, she was starting to get a gob on her that, like, I don't think Nina should ever play poker.
No, she got no poker face.
No.
But I understand her point. It's like, why are you picking all the design queens to go first? I mean, Chanel explained why she picked a design queen, but then after that, it's like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just let all the design queens go early on. I mean, Plastique was later on, but
yeah, she was a second to last choice.
I feel like Plastique could design anything within any of those boxes, so I don't feel like there was any sort of a challenge. But Nina seemed a little bummed.
As the queens all settled into their work, it was clear that they had their work cut out for it. To see what I did there.
I see what she was
so funny. Sewing, cutting.
Almost very clever.
I was very impressed with Vanjie out of the gate. She disclosed that she was not only going to make a trench, a little mini trench, but she was going to line it. Very ambitious.
You love a lining. Michelle loves seeing a lining.
They like a finished inside as well as an out. Yeah, that'll get some points for sure.
And Roxy was a little worried that Cowboy can easily go tacky, but isn't Cowboy always kind of tacky? Like, isn't that the point of Cowboy?
I think good Cowboy. Classic old Grand Ole Opry Cowboy is a little tacky. Yeah, it has to be.
Not a lot of.
And I love how she felt. Couture. Oh, finally, this is great. This is what I needed. Rhinestone fringe. That's not tacky.
No,
that's not tacky at all.
Nothing tacky about that.
No. Well done. Well done. Class it up. I was very impressed with Nina's desire to make something that wasn't tacky. I just thought it was ironic that she kept turning to Chanel for advice. Speaking of Chanel, it paid off for her to pick Angeria second. Because, boy, did she hit the jackpot with Angie. Angie helped her
a lot.
Without compromising her own work. She was really good at making... I mean, come on. Angie made 3 outfits.
Yeah, but maybe
she kept changing her mind.
So distracted by Chanel, she would have only made one.
Maybe, I don't know. I think she could have made that first, the leotard work. I just think that what she needed to do to make it work was a lot of work fitting-wise, and I think she made the right choices. Yeah. But sometimes you have to go through a few things to figure out what's not working.
Sometimes you got to wade through the field of poo before you find the beautiful roses at the end.
Or in her case, pink chaps.
You can't let Roxy be the only one to chap.
No.
Nina was a little bit concerned about all the sheer fabric she'd been assigned and decided to tackle her body image issues and use a bunch of sheer fabric on top of...
I thought she looked great. The thing with Nina is because she has those body issues, she over dresses. She puts too much fabric on and she hides what she considers to be problem areas, and they just end up making her look bigger. Whereas that black lace silhouette, I understand how she felt naked. Not because she looked naked, but because her silhouette was exposed. Like there's nothing high, like there's no extra skirt, there's no flouncy blouse, there's no boa. It's all there. I thought she looked amazing. So Ru showed up to check on the Queen's progress or to stir the pot a little. It depends on who she was talking to.
And drama.
Speaking of pot, Georges went first, and I don't know. I think for the most part, Ru was impressed with her homage. It was cute because when Ru said, "Did you just say homage?" She's like, "Yeah," and I'm sure she still thought she said it right. Bless her heart.
Did I stutter, RuPaul? Did I stutter?
I love during Roxy's visit with Ru that she shed some more light on her charity Miracle of Love. And this is a great charity. They really are like an outreach program for the trans community in getting them to not cut themselves off from society as a process of their transition. And I really was very impressed.
Well, yeah, if you're starting to transition, I think the last thing you want to do is go ahead and test it in public. So
especially alone, it's very frightening.
Yeah, you need to have a crew with you. You need to have some backup.
And if you can bowl while you do it, all's the more.
Nina West revealed that she had a street named after her in Columbus, Ohio.
The Nina West Way.
Nina West Way. I mean, it's Columbus, but Nina West Way. How wonderful.
Good for her. That's activism at its finest.
It's nice to have what would you like named after you? A street, a boulevard, an alley?
Ooh, which alley?
I don't know, a back alley? Front alley?
That street is near her home bar. I mean, you shouldn't say it was on that street. Maybe her home bar's on a better street. I don't know.
Even a bench.
A bench.
A garbage can.
In honor of.
A tree.
Yeah. It's not a day. It's not like Trixie Mattel getting a whole day.
You don't need a whole day.
No.
Because do they expect you to show up every year for your day?
I think it's your day. You don't have to do whatever you want.
Well, that's fair. At least if it's a street named after you, you just have to go out for the naming ceremony and then...
Ignore it like everyone else.
Exactly.
I have to say I was touched with Chanel. Not only did she promise Ru that she was going to show some restraint with her Christmas outfit, but she also talked about how being on season 1 affected her in that moment where she took herself out of the competition.
Yeah, I did feel like there was a bit of a rewrite of the narrative going on there, but yeah, Chanel had obviously been feeling like she let Ru down, so she was like, well, who do you think should go home? And she was like, me. All the way back in season 1. You've been carrying that for 15 years,
15 years. Oh.
Ru didn't bring you back because she thought you were garbage.
No. Well, she brought her back because they'd asked everyone else and they always said no.
Yeah, I mean, you never know who's free and who got booked just because there's an opening in their schedule.
You don't know? You won't want to know.
Yeah, she did have a little moment also about being like, I don't know if I can keep up with these young queens.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she can't. I mean, you got no badges.
Got no badges.
Got no badges?
No badges. She's no badge hoe.
Not a one.
No badge hoe.
No badge.
Based on how well Georges did taking Ru's advice for the roast, Angeria was nobody's fool. She asked Ru for her opinion because she had an idea for a gown, but then she thought maybe she should do something different that they wouldn't expect her to do, like a jumpsuit. And well, Ru did point out that her song Cake and Candy is for a fat ass. P-H-A-T.
Pretty hot and tempting.
Yes. And seriously, that's enough right there. If Ru is like, well, yeah, make the leotard. Don't try and be a...
Don't be a fool.
No.
Don't be a fool. You fool.
Yeah. If you ask for the advice, take the advice.
Take the advice.
There you go.
Probably my favorite moment was watching Nina West attempt to make a glove for a small malnourished child.
Well, she clearly hasn't seen my fabulous tutorial on how to make gloves.
No, because she had to get Roxy over to help her out.
Oh. And it still took them 2 or 3 goes. She started making the gloves in the black lace to match her dress, and by the time they were done, they were red with black polka dots. So clearly she went through some things. One of the things while they were all getting their looks finished and together that impressed the hell out of me was Plastique's star. I think that was the train for her dress. She had it on the floor. Like, that was a big, not just a geometric star, but it was lined. Like there were concentric stars going on. And that's a lot of math. And I have to tell you, it was looking so good, whatever it was she was working on. Every episode, there's something about Plastique that impresses the hell out of me.
Yeah. This episode was math.
Yeah. Either way, it was a lot of work for Plastique because while they were getting ready for the runway, she was still sewing.
Yeah, she couldn't really join in on the conversation about everyone's drag families and how many drag kids they had. And everyone seemed quite shocked at how many drag children Angeria has.
Well, it was no surprise to Vanjie. She's been on tour with her. Everywhere she went, she seemed to have drag kids.
Yeah, Angeria's the Nick Cannon of drag. Good thing she doesn't have to pay child support.
Yeah, no kidding. Oof. But all those children will support her?
You hope.
Yeah, well, they better.
You hope, or they're going to put you in the bad home.
Oof. So no.
No, well, yeah. Eventually I'll just push you off the balcony and just watch you float gently to the ground.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Like
Am I supposed to take care of you in
like
your
I
dotage?
Float. No.
Because that could be like next week.
It's now. What are you kidding? You're doting now. Are you kidding?
I have things to do.
No, you don't.
I have a full life.
No.
I have to go to the middle of nowhere tomorrow.
Yeah.
Entertain people in the field.
Do you have to?
I do.
Well, that's really an ego thing then.
I have to stand in a field and tell people jokes.
No. And then it was time for the runway. I thought Ru looked spectacular again, but only from the neck up. I hated this dress. This dress, when Zaldi uses like textured material and layers them, it just makes Ru's silhouette bulkier. And I didn't like this dress. Even Michelle called her a pinata, so...
Yeah, I knew you weren't going to like this.
No.
Maybe Michelle just likes hitting Ru and seeing what falls out.
With a big old stick. Yeah. It's not candy, I'll tell you that. Speaking of hair, it was clear that T.S. Madison and Michelle's hair were competing for most sexy toilet brush.
Although I do love it when T.S. shows up.
Oh, T.S. can wear whatever she wants. She can wear whatever she wants on her head. I don't care. Whatever you want. I like that her breasts were oily and that her hair was toilet brushy. Speaking of friendly competition, Jeremy Scott was there competing as a shirtless disco ball. Against who, I have no idea.
I've never seen a disco ball with a shirt on.
Well, there you are.
Okay.
That's it.
It's a lot of competition.
Yeah. Category is Make Your Own Rusic. Plastique went first, and Jesus H. Hockey sticks. Wow. At first, when she was just standing there with the whole star wrapped around her, I wasn't sure what the hell I was looking at. And then she dropped it all away, and I realized that she'd quilted this huge, big, flat star train for this dress. And then the gown itself was so simple, but with that one exposed side with all of the blue and silver and the star on the sleeve, it was... The impact of that was just stunning.
Well, that's really, really paid off. The only thing, if I'm going to take anything away, is that when she threw the star open, two of the points
they stayed curled up.
I was like, Yeah, it took away from the impact a teeny-weeny little bit, and the lining was coming off in a couple of places. But, she was telling her what she was getting ready. What are you going to do? It was a lot of work.
Yeah. Nice to see that even the doll has cracks.
The doll has cracks. Not perfect.
Needless to say, Plastique got a big old Fingerdoo from me.
No surprise.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, Georges was next, and she looked cute.
She looked very cute, yeah. Georges doesn't have to wear a lot to look good.
No.
So She looked good.
And she's a tiny person to begin with, so there's really not even a big need for fabric to start with.
Yeah, they just give her a box of leftover napkins and tell her to go for it.
Yeah.
She's got loads of fabric to spare.
Yeah. She'll make accessoires. Backup dancer outfits. Regardless of how much fabric she used, I totally gave this look a Fingerdoo. She looked great.
You're generous with your fingers this week.
Well, this week, I'm surprised because everyone made this on the show as opposed to much harder on the stuff that they plan ahead to bring. Because that's like, you should, I'm sorry, Nina, but you brought that on purpose. Come on. Come on!
Gobbik was next in her new friend Silver, old friend Gold. A very simple silhouette, but she treated the fabric and braided the fabric together. And
I love that. Yeah, it made for an interesting look.
The purse, the giant lock.
It was cute for the sake of being a lock purse, but it was very...
I felt like it was made out of cardboard.
It was for another outfit.
Yeah.
It wasn't for that outfit.
It feels unnecessary.
One of the things that surprised me about this outfit was she just happened to have that wig in her dance bag. That wig with the silver and gold highlights in it. Makes me wonder, like, how much... Like, it just... For a show that tries to look spontaneous, it's like, clearly something was going on. Somebody brought a silver and gold wig because somebody knew something was going on where she could wear silver and gold. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe anything that I'm watching is actually
as spontaneous.
Authentic. Yeah, at all. No.
That's probably a good... I should be more like that.
Yeah, once you've gone behind the scenes of one of these shows, you're like, oh, no. They're just showing us what they want to show us. Yeah, believe nothing. Nothing. I'm not even sure if the show actually exists or if it's just a fever dream that we're having.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
I love that Chanel said she restrained herself when she created her Hey Sis, It's Christmas look. But I still think she could have taken that big bow off her shoulder off. Because it was fighting with her hair and the bow that was in her hair. If she'd taken that off and left the big bow on her head, I think it would have been much better balanced. But I didn't hate this. She looked good. It was Christmas. There was that perfect level of Christmas tack.
I mean, for Chanel, it was restrained.
It could have been so much more.
Yeah.
She clearly left fabric back in the workroom.
It was simple, but also not simple in the slightest.
No. It was certainly complicated on a simplistic level enough for me to give her a Fingerdoo. So what else do you want from life? Nothing. Nothing.
Next down the runway was Roxy in her lady cowboy outfit, her nice suede jacket and chaps, and there's a little disappointed she took the jacket off so quickly.
Me too. So early with the jacket. And the other thing I have to say is when she took the jacket off, she had RuPaul in rhinestones out on the top of the back of her outfit, and then on each leg she had put lady and cowboy on the chest. She could have put lady cowboy across the back of that jacket, left it on, not bothered with the RuPaul stoning, which looked tacky. And I think that outfit would have sold even better because the jacket really made it. I didn't hate the outfit once the jacket came off, but I didn't like it as much.
No, I thought that Impact of the Rhinestones was really kind of underwhelming. I was like, for all the effort that you made to get that done, I was like, well, no.
Well, the way she was talking about it, I just put 10,000 stones on it. It's like, well, I barely saw that, so it's another navy blazer. What do you want from me?
It's another one of those moments where the amount of effort that went into it is just not reflected in the finished product.
The payoff.
Yeah.
No. Still, I gave her a Fingerdoo.
Of course you did.
Because she looked fantastic.
You're giving them out like candy.
Shut up. Banji looked amazing. That dress fit her like a glove. Her trench coat was lined in the fabric that she was wearing as her dress. The belts were gorgeous. The wig, all of it. The boots. Nothing I got to say against Vanjie except give that queen a Fingerdoo. Seriously.
Next on the runway was Nina West, and she looked the best I've ever seen her look after a design challenge.
Ever. Even the stuff she's brought wasn't as nice as this. She looked spectacular. I will say I didn't like the corset and gloves only because I didn't like the red fabric. But for the category Cha-Cha Bitch, that was the right fabric.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I think that I would have rather have seen a full body with a lace glove and then maybe no corset. I felt with as uncomfortable as she was in the change room in the dress, even though she looked great, I felt like the corset was her like security blanket. It's just like I'll feel safer if this is just out on the outside holding it all in. And
this is not my shape, so I don't want to be.
But she looked great. She looked great. The wig looked good. The hat was ridiculous, but looked good.
That was my only issue with the hat is I wish it had been like a little bit smaller so we could see her eyes. Or more ridiculously big.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be in a weird drag.
I agree.
Mid-range, where I was like, if it's going to block your face, like, block your entire head, block out the sun.
Yeah. You should be able to stand behind your hat and not be seen. Or a little one. Yeah.
Just a little chapeau.
Well done, Nina. Fingerdoo, sweetheart.
A rare Fingerdoo.
I'm giving her a Fingerdoo. Wow. Mark it down. On this date. 2024. I liked what Angie settled on. The pink chaps with the leotard and the cowl front with the long sleeves. The wig distracted me, though, because she wore something like that week, too.
The wig was fun. The wig was...
It was a gorgeous wig.
I love that. All the judges loved Angie's wig, which is not exactly the best feedback for a design challenge.
I don't think she looked bad. It just wasn't as impressive as the other girls. That was all. It just was slightly underwhelming in comparison. But she looked good, so I gave her a Fingerdoo. Wow, a clean sweep of Fingerdoos. Who am I all of a sudden?
Well, you must have murdered the Russian judge that lives inside you.
You could have dressed up. And then, well, actually before Ru announced this week's top 2 queens, she also let them know this was the last week of the Ruby Snippers. This was their last chance to cut a bitch. And
final Snippers.
Well, there was great rejoicing because they're all, I'm sure at least Angie and Roxy are over it for sure.
I mean, you guys share those Snippers.
Yeah.
Some of those girls never even saw them up close.
No.
Seems a shame.
Yeah. Plastique, at least once.
Yeah.
At least once. And there was great rejoicing for Roxy and Plastique because they were this week's top 2. Would you have picked those 2?
I probably would have. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt Roxy's outfit was all right, but it wasn't as great as...
Wasn't as great.
I don't know. Nina surprised me. I just was more surprised by Nina. I wasn't as surprised by Roxy.
I know. And they do love to give a top to the most improved. So I thought Nina actually had a chance because this was one of Roxy's, like, compared to the rest of the design challenges, a little underwhelming.
And as great as Plastique's was, it's like, yeah, she did that. That's about right. Yeah, you can pick her outfit out of a lineup. Yeah. That's what Plastique would make. And not that it wasn't stunning and gorgeous and didn't deserve to win, but again, I was just more impressed by Nina.
Yeah.
And this week's lip sync song was one of Ru's favorites, Diana Ross with, I can't remember. No One Gets the Prize. And this week's lip sync song was by Ru's favorite, Diana Ross, but I'd never heard of this song.
I never heard of this song either.
No One Gets the Prize. This is clearly one of those songs that doesn't cost a lot to air on TV.
It must be very inexpensive.
Yeah. But either way, this was a fun lip sync. Plastique seemed to know more of the words this time.
That was nice to see that Plastique knew the words. Yeah. But as soon as Roxy started doing her nails.
She started doing her nails and then
get back. I was like,
faking people out for a throwdown.
It was too funny.
So funny.
You will always get me with laughs in the lip sync.
Yeah.
Like you will always capture my attention. So Plastique was doing her thing, but all my eyes, all 17 of my eyes were on Roxy Andrews.
And rightly so, because, well, Roxy won. As well she should. She really did. That was, yet again, she's undefeated in the lip sync.
She's a fabulous lip syncer.
Yeah, she's great. And, of course, she had to give the final Ruby Snippers to somebody. And who did she give them to?
Oh, I wonder who it's going to be.
Angie. She's final, Angie started it off by giving the first Snippers to Roxy. Roxy ended it by giving the last Snippers back to her. Even Steven. There you go.
There you go.
And I thought Angie took them very well compared to the other few times that she took them.
Yeah, well, I think it being the final snip.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I think she had a little moment last week where she's like, oh yeah, I forgot why I was here. It's like, okay, yeah, just take the snip.
Yeah. And there you go. That's episode 8 done and dusted. Next week, it's the Rusical. So excited. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having.
And if you would like to continue to support the Fingerdoo Review, make sure that you like this video with a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. The best way to support this channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know. Do you agree with the decisions that were made this week? Do you think the right people were acknowledged? Were you in the same boat as Wilhelmina and I thinking, well, they should have given Nina some flowers. That was a heck of an outfit that she made. Let me know down in the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to check out my links to leaving a tip or do with the OG PayPal link in my description box, or getting some Wilma merch at my Redbubble store. That link's down there, as well as my link to my Patreon page, where we have 2, yes, I said 2, live chats a month. Until next time, miss us! Serious. It was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
For a design challenge. Usually the design challenges, it's frustrating for me because they're really more... Well, no, they're frustrating for me because the ones that do know how to sew, it's like a gimme who's winning, or at least who's going to be in the top. And I thought with this round, what was really interesting was there was so much help being given.
It was nice, yeah. Because with like an acting challenge, if you're not an actor, you could still surprise yourself.
Yeah.
With the design challenge, you're not going to accidentally throw some fabric through the machine and be like, oh, gorgeous! Oh my God. I had no idea I had that in me.
Yeah, it's Anne Klein on the bias.
What about my bias?
I don't know. Anne Klein. She made some... Remember once doing a pattern, an Anne Klein pattern from Vogue, and the whole thing was on the bias, and I picked the wrong fabric.
You picked the wrong fabric.
It was just tears from start to finish.
I'm just going to smile and knock.
And now whenever a bias cut outfit, all I can think of is...
Anne Klein!
Get her so hard!
For so many reasons though, that Anne Klein.
But that bias, it was a little halter front. It was awful.
Oh.
I hated it.
Halter back.
Cute dress.
Yeah.
But...
You still wearing it?
No. It never fit.
Oh.